guys, I know I did a video the other day, but I come across very manic. Um, I felt I come across a bit too manic the other day, and I wanted to redo it. Um, it's quite difficult to come up with different topics, especially when what I talk about may sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's all linked together. Now, I'm going to talk about some of my attempts in my life. Um, I'll go through. I'll speak about three of them. There's been 22, um, but every time I try, it's just a sign that I'm meant to be here, and I'm meant to get my message across. And I'm going to talk about a time which led me to become Christian. Um, so about 8 years ago, I was kicked out of home because I was a bit wild. I was addicted to cocaine. I was addicted to other drugs. I was drinking a lot of alcohol, like daily, and I ended up having to live in a hotel. I've also stayed in the tents for a couple nights. I also was sofa surfing at the time. But one night, it was a winter's night, and I didn't want to be here anymore. Um, so one night, I walked all the way from Folkestone to Hawkinge. I had a bit of an argument with someone, and I was very, very high on drugs and very drunk. Um, so after this argument with someone, I walked back home, walked back to the hotel, and I had all my stuff in my bag. I had a hotel room key, I had my phone, I had a few other things, and I just threw it everywhere. Now I'm walking down on like a dual carriageway. Um, was it a dual carriageway or like a? Yeah, it was a dual carriageway, and I was walking down this dark road. It was winter. There was no car in sight. There was no one there, and I thought, perfect. This is the time to say sayonara. Now I've climbed over the railing of this bridge and I'm hanging on like this and I'm just about to let go. And um, as I was about to let go, a car pulls up out of nowhere and they're like, James, 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 stop what you're doing, stop what you're doing. And these were acquaintances from school. At the time, I had no smartphone, so I had no social media. I just had a burner phone, as we call in the UK, which is made basically for calls and texts. So like an old school phone. And I threw it. And these guys helped me, and I was crying, and I got taken to the overnight stay at a mental health hospital. And I was so angry. I was so like, I don't want to be here, like, so mad about it. But that night, I believed that this was the beginning of me finding Jesus Christ and becoming a Christian, because there was no one there that night to stop me from what I was going to do. And these just appeared. These acquaintances just appeared out of nowhere. It was a higher power that night. And then another time was that I was in um, in Folkestone, my hometown. I explained this to my friend in another video years ago, um, and I wanted to jump from height from Asda in Folkestone town. And that night, luckily, the police got to me, and they, made sure I was safe. Um, Another reason why I'm supposed to be here. And then obviously my most recent was in November. Now, I had a really bad experience last year, which I don't really want to go too fully into, but basically I took an overdose of my medication, like I mentioned in the first video. And um, I feel really sorry for my dad because he found me on the bathroom floor. I shouted down to my neighbours to say, like, basically I took an overdose and I didn't want to be here anymore. And then I couldn't walk. I couldn't function, so I had to go to hospital. I was there for about just over 24 hours to obviously get it all out my system so I could safely return home. And, these subjects are really difficult and really tough to talk about, but I'm just talking to everyone that views my videos that, about my experiences with mental health and, suicide. And, you know, like, I don't want to come across like I'm repeating myself, because, it's such a difficult topic to speak about, mental health. But this is what my channel is going to all be about: mental health, and, maybe the progress in a few months or a few years of what my mental health is like at that stage, what my mental health is like, tomorrow or a week's time. I just want to be able to, instead of jot my things down because I struggle to write, I want to do videos to inspire other people to speak out about mental health problems, because there's no place worse than being stuck in your own mind and not feeling like you want to be here anymore. It's a very difficult place. And I've had to, like I've said in past videos, I've had to carry and manage the suicide of my mother at 11 years old. And, I've seen in papers recently that, when people go missing for like days and police are trying to find them, my first inkling and my first thought is that person is tried to take their life. And if any of my viewers, any of my subscribers feel like they want to, don't feel like they want to be here anymore, please message me on here, because you are worth so much more alive than you could ever imagine. Your situation may be blinded by depression, may be blinded by your issues of mental health struggles, or it may be the dynamic that you have at home with your family, or with your friends, or with your girlfriends, or your boyfriends, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you only have one life to live. And, sometimes I have my days. Like, everyone has their days where they don't want to be here, or they struggle to get out of bed. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to talk to people about their problems. And I want to be a guiding light for people that have these problems, that you are not crazy for talking about these problems, because, you know, as I said, you're so much worth alive. Like, you're so important to people. You're so important to your friends. You're so important to yourself. You're so important to your children. And it breaks my heart that there's people in newspaper articles that have taken their life, and, have just wanted to take the horrible way out. And you aren't weak for having a mental health diagnosis. You aren't weak for being depressed. You aren't weak for not wanting to be here. You aren't weak for having your struggles. You are a human being that battles with demons and inner thoughts and bad things that your own mind can twist and turn against you. And, you know, it can be a lonely journey. I've been, as I said in my other video, I've been with mental health services for 10 plus years. And I've battled with my mental health from a child, and had a diagnosis 15 years ago. And you are so important. You are so important to the people that love you, the people that genuinely care about you. Because, sometimes you can be in the wrong friends group, you can be in the wrong relationship that can absolutely destroy your well-being and your mental health to the core, and it makes you feel worthless. But you are worth so much. The blessing of life is such a blessing. you know there's people out in this world that have far more bigger problems than the ones that are in our heads. And, we're only human. We falter, we fall, we we struggle with these things. And it doesn't make you weak to, be open and honest about your problems. There's been times where I've been open and honest to people that I've wanted to build friendships and relationships with me, and they've just slammed the door on me because I'm too much. I'm not too much. If I'm too much, then go find less. And that's not me being egotistical, because, as human beings, we aren't perfect. As human beings, we all have our problems. And if you aren't willing to share your problems, yeah, maybe you want to share them maybe the right thing to do is to share them problems once you've got past the talking with dating, or the talking with friendship zones. But I just come out of it, and it's whether down to them people if they want to take me as I am or not take me at all, because I'm an all in or all out kind of guy. And it is so important to look after yourself, because people in this world go through things that are so hard to deal with, that are in your own mind, that it's difficult to talk about these things. Me, I'm an open book. And I do these videos, like I said, not for myself, to help other people, inspire them to speak out, inspire them to talk about these things. Because I look in the paper and there was a mother the other day that took her own life, and I was gutted. I feel for her children. I hope that your hearts will be will be will be less broken in time, because our hearts get broken. They may not fully be, fully healed. But I turned to Christianity, um, and got baptized a few years ago, and the change that I have felt because I found Christ and because I gave my life to God is unreal. Yeah, I might get the devil's attacks from time in my mind, or I might go and drink alcohol, or you know, and it's usually because I meet someone or I talk to someone and they're damaged themselves, and it's like an evil spirit attaches to me, and it makes me feel like I'm trapped, and it makes me feel like I'm not good enough for that person. But I still choose to wake up every day, even if I don't do much, I don't work. I'm trying to heal myself from past trauma that I've had to carry as an 11-year-old child. And yeah, some people might be like, oh, you're not man enough, because there's been people that have different issues and they just get on with it. But I'm not them people. You don't tarnish everyone with the same brush, because we are all so different. We are all so beautifully unique and have different gifts and different talents and different ways of thinking, different ways we express ourselves, different ways we open ourselves up to people, because not everyone is the same. And I really hope that my videos touch people's hearts, they touch people's minds, because you are so important. And if you ever feel like you want to not be in this world anymore, you have every beautiful opportunity to message me on YouTube, in the comments, whatever, and I will privately message you and we can talk privately. Because I want to be, as I said, I want to be the beacon. I want to be the voiceless. I want to be the voice for the voiceless, that when they speak, that they croak in their throat. I want to be that person that can help them eventually, because it's difficult living with a mental health diagnosis, especially that I don't take my medication, because my medication, as I said, makes you feel suicidal, makes you feel like a zombie, and I don't like it. I feel like I'm being controlled. And you know I think, like I said, with my reactions, it's people's actions. It's people's actions that make us feel worthless, that make us feel terrible. Not everyone has this strong mind. Not everyone has the thoughts like these big business, multi-billionaire people that are meant to be, spoken word people that are meant to be like influencers. What are they influencing? They're just influencing you to have a big ego. They're they're influencing you to think that money is the answer. Money's not going to mean anything when you've left this world. It's all about how you carry yourself, how you treat people, how you speak to people, how you converse with people. The amount of people that I get spudded or shaken hands or talk to, all different walks of life, from drug addicts, alcoholics, to you know elderly people, to people that are my age, people that are older, people that have mental health issues, people that have, drug addictions. And I give them respect and they give me respect. And I don't care about money. I think it's so important that you look after yourselves. Now, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, because you are beautiful, you are unique, and you are special. God bless you all. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely weekend. You are loved. You are far more important being here. That's my message to you, to every one of you. God bless you.